my plan to write a New York Times bestselling book. Wanted to write a book forever. I've actually put out a few of them on Amazon. Don't go check them out. But I never felt ready. I felt kind of shy and didn't really feel like that's something I really wanted to promote. As COVID happened, I felt compelled to create a book to give it to people like you. And so I wanted to talk about how I'm planning to write a book that is a bestseller, and I want to share that exact plan with you. If you're interested in the book, by the way, email book@okdork.com and I will get you on the beta list. First off, what I'd recommend is set a clear goal. So what do you really want that outcome of your book to be? Is it to impact one person? Is it 10,000 book sales? Is it 1 million book sales? Which, by the way, I asked Tim Ferriss, I was like, yo, I'm gonna sell 1 million books. And he's like, do you know how many books actually sell 1 million copies? I was like, no. He's like, basically no one. But even more, but then how many actually sell? Is this a book that I am excited to give to people like yourself and I have my name on it? Before you actually go and you want to write a book, or before you want to go do a business, go and talk to people who've already done it. Go read all the articles that they've already done it. And so Charlie Holman told me that experience. And are you really committed to give it everything? Because it's not gonna be easy. And I will tell you, working in there, which you guys will see some clips of what the workroom looks like, it's extremely hard. And James Clear, who has a mega bestseller with Atomic Habits, I think the two things I really took from him was, how do you front load the content and create content that like right away someone's like, this is an amazing book, I gotta tell other people. And I think he did a great job with that. Another thing that he did is around the level of marketing. Like James did 190 podcast interviews that he booked himself when he launched his book, just to give you an idea of, it's not just luck. You have to create a great product, but you also have to be responsible to go tell a lot of people about it. When people are successful, one of the things I'm thinking about a lot of the days, if you're working on a book, if you're working on software, if you're working on YouTube, or working on anything, is like, is it a surprise that the person is successful? And really, they're putting in the work on it. There is some strategy to this, but it's putting in the work to what outcome and what thing you're really trying to accomplish. If you want more videos from Uncle Noah, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I put out 3 juicy business videos to help you on your business journey every single week. Go do it. Number 4, in terms of this whole book thing, is like pretend like you know what you're doing. So if you want to get really fit, there's one way that you just go to the gym and you lift stuff. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna lift stuff. There's this other way where you go to actually a coach or a trainer or a course or some material, and they're like, here, what's your goal you want? Okay, here's the best plan I think for you to accomplish that. So with me and my book process, I basically just started kind of like writing a proposal, working with Chad Boyda, shout out Chad, CTO of AppSumo, my business partner. I thought I had a great proposal. And then I called Lisa DeMona, who was Ramit Sethi's agent. Thank you, Ramit, for recommending her. And I was like, hey, I got a proposal. It's about starting businesses or challenges. Do you want to talk to me? And she's like, nah, I'm not really that interested. Maybe come back when you have a proposal. And so I kept working on the proposal. And I kind of showed her something. She's like, yeah, this sucks. She rejected me. I was like, all right, how do I take this more seriously? How do I get actually a plan to, sometimes there's a reason there's recipes that work. And so I ended up hiring a proposal writer that James Clear recommended named David Maldawar. He helps take the template of how a proposal is actually supposed to look. He helps take your material and picks the best of it to figure out what would actually make a book. Because there's some stuff I would share with him. He's like, I would talk about some marketing thing like Facebook ads. He's like, is that really a chapter? Or is that just like a little sliver of it? And is that really the most valuable thing you should be talking about? I think try to find then strategies of people that have already worked that you can copy. And even if you can afford it or if it's available to you, try to find someone who's already really experienced to really shortcut the whole process. If you're thinking about it as an investment, I paid David X. And then when I ended up pitching the book later and making a lot more than that, it's like as an investment, it was insanely worth it. So we finally, after a year of working the proposal, just to give you context of how long it takes, back and forth about who's going to be reading this book, how does Noah have a platform like YouTube and appsumo.com and my email list, okdork.com. Plus I talked to a lot of people in the audience here about things they're curious about, problems they're having, what they're actually feeling, what they're really struggling with. And then I went back to Lisa DeMona and said, hey, I got this proposal, and David knew her, and let me see the proposal. And she's like, all right, it's time. One question that you might be asking is, why go self-publishing route versus publish route, the traditional route? Media is changing. It's all changing. I get it. Name 5 books that are self-published that are crazy significant. The Bible. Hear the crickets? My goal was to create something that had some status, that reached a mass audience, to help impact a massive audience, to help tell people about me, tell people about AppSumo. And as well, I wanted to go through the process of that, which is a slower, longer, harder, and so far a more rewarding process. So over the time with David, we revised the proposal, and Lisa accepted it. And now what happens? They pitch it to publishers. So they take this proposal, Lisa actually edits it with David and with myself, and she goes out and emails all her friends in the network. And what's fascinating, kind of inside secret, it's mostly female in the writing industry, and most readers are also female too. She emails all of her publisher friends, and they set up basically a 2-week interview bidding process. And so you go and meet all these people, and they ask you a lot of questions about the book, like why did you want to do this book? What's the book for? What are some of your challenging experiences? How are you going to market this book? It's kind of like a date. I honestly had a great time. There's a lot of really interesting people. Most of them are based in New York City. What they're looking for at the end of the day is that their investment. So they're going to be putting in some money to put a book and believe in it because they only have something they can invest in. And then what's the likelihood of this book succeeding? Whatever you're working on, if you're trying to get a job, if you're trying to start a company, if you're trying to sell people, if you're trying to do a book proposal, how are you stacking it so that the confidence level of the other person is so high they're like, yeah, this girl or guy is gonna definitely succeed. After the 2 weeks, you say, hey, everyone give us their offers. And we got 6 out of the 7 offers, which was insane. I can't talk about the numbers. By the way, when you finally make money or you get your book deal or you get a certain amount of YouTube subscribers, there's no celebration. There's no confetti. Maybe we can have confetti on screen finally. Finally, yeah, we got it. Also, I think one of my superpowers is finding the people who are the best in the world. So yes, I could write this book, but most of the top books you've seen, a lot of them are written with collaborators. Some are ghostwriters. I'm actually excited that when you see this book come out in about a year or so, you're gonna see another person's name on it. So I interviewed a ton of different ghostwriters. And I don't even like ghostwriters. I feel like those people are amazing collaborators and creators of the content. So I feel like they should get a lot of credit too. You do get what you pay for. And it was an interesting experience about how people consider the value of what they're creating. We hired this person, and now this is our first time really collaborating. I had to put together a lot of material about like what are my interviews, what are my articles, what are the most popular viral posts I've done, the best YouTube videos. And there's definitely been some method to the madness of how do you actually then create a book that people really want to read. And I'd say one of the key themes that Tal, who I'm working with, has really highlighted is what's the structure to your book? That's number one, which is really interesting. What's the structure of the flow that someone's gonna really be experiencing? And one of the things that we did, which has been interesting, is go to Amazon and go to any of your most popular books, the ones you love, go look at the table of contents. And it's been really interesting in that table of contents to try to understand what is the structure of the best books in the world. Second thing that Charlie Hohen and Tal have highlighted and we worked on as well is like, who is the reader and how do you make it so that they're having an aha moment? Now, one thing I definitely want to be highlighting in parallel of creating the content, and this is important for every business out there, is how are you starting your marketing plan? So we have a thing, Mitchell and I on our team, called the 2-year plan. And these are people that in 2 years when the book comes out, we want to have great relationships with, that they will actually promote the book. I think for yourself, it's like, who do you want to work with in the future and how do you start just helping them straight up now? And don't be like sneaky, like, oh, I'm helping them. Just be like, hey, I'm working on some stuff in the future. I'd love to help you. I think you have a book, or I think you have YouTube, or I think you have a course. Let me go do these things to help you with your own thing. Now, in terms of the marketing plan for how do you actually promote a book, you guys have seen a lot of the material I put out about that. At a high level, the marketing plan is the same as the Mint marketing plan. So I would check out down below or to the side how I marketed Mint. Honestly, it's the same thing as marketing pretty much anything, which is what is the problem you're solving, who is the person that wants it, and where the hell are they, so you can get a hold of them to know about it. The other thing, and lastly, what I'm doing to ensure the success of the book, is I'm trying to stack the deck in my favor. I'm trying to not have hope in business. I like guaranteed. Is building up my tribe. I don't like saying but building up the tribe of people who I want to help me with this book. And before I do that, I'm asking to help them. So we have okdork.com/underdogs. It's helping them get what they want and building a community for them to actually help each other, which has been unbelievable to see. And you can apply to be a part of it, okdork.com/underdogs. And at the same time, as this book comes out, it's saying, hey, I have something I would appreciate if you can help me with it. And think about your friends. If your friends ask you for recommendations or movies or money or whatever it is, yeah, you have that trust and you have that relationship. So of course you want to go help them. The book is for you. So thank you. And I'm excited to share it with you to help you get results on your own business journey. If you loved this video, I loved making this one for you. It was really natural and organic. It was out here in the woods of Asheville. You are going to love this video right up here. Make sure you go check that out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, just go do it. Doot, 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 boop, subscribed. I love you, and I'll see you out here.